How are you feeling? How's the ankle? How are you feeling? How's being back out on the field?
I feel great. You know, I was talking to him earlier. I've never missed this much time. Like, I've never had this much time off of football. So I was able to just like sit back, reflect, become more wise, learn the game like a coach. And then it also helped the game slow down for me. But as far as like my body, I was able to like get my body like 100% healthy. And then just be able to, like, when I come back out in spring, just be able to be full go, not have any limitations. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, it's definitely been fun being back on the field, just playing ball, feeling like a little kid again, just running around, having fun. Because I definitely missed it last year. So yeah, definitely been fun. And I'm happy that I'm healthy.
Can you kind of just walk us through the timeline of everything? You get hurt, and then maybe there's some talk about you could come back, but then you decide to go through and just miss the season. Can you kind of walk us through the decision-making and everything that it took to kind of get to this point?
Oh, yeah. So when I got hurt, initially, like, it was a high ankle sprain. And then, you know, we did the x-rays. X-rays came back clean. And then we did MRIs because I was still having a lot of pain. And that's where I showed, like, you know, I had a few torn ligaments in there. So my ankle was all messed up and stuff like that. But they were like, there's a chance that you maybe can still come back and play, like maybe like week 3 or week 4 of the season. So I was like, okay, you know, it's my senior year. You know, I want to go out with a bang. So let's see if it heals on its own, or maybe, you know, be able to play at like 80%, 70 to 80%. But then once I got to like week 3, week 4, me and Coach Elliott sat down, had a conversation. And they were just like, you know what, it's probably best for you just to get surgery so you can get 100% healthy and then have a full season next season, because there's no point of going out there playing 70% because I won't be able to put my best film on tape or my best, you know, ball on tape. So it was a no-brainer at that point once I realized that it wasn't healing the way I wanted it to heal. So just got the surgery done, and they were like, you know, if, you know, depending on if we made it to a bowl game or not, I was going to possibly be able to play then later on in the season. But, you know, with how the season went and stuff like that, we're just like, you know, we'll shut it down for the rest of the year and then, you know, come back ready to go healthy in spring. So it was definitely, it took a while, but, you know, once we sat down and talked with my family and stuff like that and with my coaches, it was a no-brainer that it was smart. It was the best decision for me just to sit out and heal up and come back next season 100% healthy, so I don't have to worry about any limitations or anything.
That makes a lot of sense. It turns out a lot of the same faces on defense around you with Jonas and then Cam and Chico and those guys up front. What's it like rejoining that group of a lot of guys you spent a lot of time playing with throughout your career? Oh,
it's great. I definitely, you know, I missed playing ball with them last year, so it made me upset every day I had to come out here and I wasn't able to be on the field. So it was definitely like refreshing, and it was just great to get back on the field with them and, you know, build that chemistry that we had. And then, you know, Jonas playing his ball, adding a few new pieces from the transfer portal, and then yeah, just having that front seven again and just, you know, just going out there and playing our best ball. But it's definitely been a blessing to be able to go back out there and play with them.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Antonio, how's it going?
Good. You?
Good.
Long time no see.
So, yeah, I know. Well, I saw you in practice, you just didn't see me.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned how it was frustrating that these guys were playing and you weren't. How did you handle those frustrations? Because you are a competitor. You were there on the sidelines when games were close. How did you handle mentally sitting out?
It was tough, but luckily I had the right support system around me, and just being able to, you know, just be a mentor for the younger players, be a coach, and just help out the best way I can, knowing that I wasn't on the field, but being able to contribute in the film room, in meetings, and do my best on the sideline that I can, coaching and stuff like that, just to make sure that the rest of the guys are out there ready to go and know exactly what they're doing and being able to play their best ball. But yeah, it was definitely frustrating, but I definitely had the right support system around me to help me, you know, keep my emotions intact and, you know, just keep the main thing the main thing.
Do you remember a time period that was toughest for you when it comes to, was it that meeting with Elliott when you found out that you weren't coming back?
Yeah, that was probably the toughest one, just because I was so eager to come back. You know, there was like a set date that we can come back in, like hopefully like late September, early October. But once I realized that, you know, it wasn't gonna happen, that was probably my toughest time.
There's a theme when I'm talking to you guys, is that this has been a different spring under this staff. It felt like this is the first proper off season that you guys have had together with this coaching staff since they've been there. Have you seen a difference?
Oh, for sure. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of veterans out there, a lot of key pieces that contribute a lot, and you know, there's a bitter taste in everyone's mouth how the season ended. So, you know, guys have a greater sense of urgency. And you know, keep it like they say, keep the main thing, and just putting your head down and worrying about what you can control. But yeah, definitely the sense of urgency, knowing that all the little things matter, special teams, offense, defense, like everything got to be perfect and stuff like that. So yeah, guys definitely been putting in the work and just having a greater sense of urgency.
I know there's a lot of guys returning on defense, but there's some new faces too from transfers, like, you know, Corey Thomas, Kempton Shine. What has stand out about them? I think you were hosting them too on visits when they came in. Yeah, just the level of knowledge that they have. Just, you know, they're eager to learn, they're eager to work, and they're always in the film room with us. Just we're literally in the film room all day if we're not in class. So like, it's either in class or at McHugh in the film room. So we're all just, you know, bouncing ideas off each other's head, just pushing each other to be the best versions of ourselves. Ultimately, so we can be the best group in the country. So yeah, they've been great. Corey, Kendron, Kemp, even Jam. He's young, but he's been a great contributor. But yeah, their knowledge of the game has really helped too. And just like, you know, all size, and they're all veterans as well because they have a lot of experience from where they came from. So yeah, it's definitely been great, and they've definitely been helping out a lot. So Cameron Courtney has been with the DBs a little bit?
Say again?
You said Cam as one of the DBs?
No, Kendron.
Oh, Kendron.
Kendron
Okay,
Smith,
sorry,
yeah,
sorry.
and Jam. But yeah, they just, you know, they came in, you know, fit in right with the standard, and you know, they just put their head down and work. They don't complain. They just grind. And like Coach said, it's all about the mundane, and they've definitely attacked it.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
Hey, Antonio, just going off of what Jackie asked you, you know, what kind of qualities do all these different guys that are coming in bring to this defense?
Oh, yeah. So Jam, young corner, he's long, about like 6'2", 6'3". So he brings a lot of length on the outside. Kendron's big as well. Corey, we all know Corey's 6'4", 6'5", rangy. They all play fast, and then you got Kemp. He's a savvy vet. Great instincts, just knows the game really well. But yeah, they all bring a different aspect to the game, and I think it all gels in perfect with the way we want to play our defense. So yeah.
And then, you know, there's a lot of 4th, 5th, 6th, I think 7th year guys on this defense. You know, what's it like just having kind of an old head kind of defense, especially in this day in college football, and just kind of, I guess, what benefits are there with that?
I guess we all know what it takes. You know, just like everyone's played a lot of ball. We have a few young guys on the team that played a lot of ball too, but the older guys on the team played a lot of ball. They know what it takes. They know what it feels to get your butt kicked. So they have that taste in their mouth as well. But yeah, it's just the level of like experience we have on defense. We all know what it takes. So we know how to push the younger guys, hold the younger guys to a standard, hold everybody accountable, so that we can have the season we want to have.
Are there any jokes from the younger guys about how old some of you guys are?
Absolutely. I get it every single day.
Not as bad as Cam Butler.
Yeah, so Cam Butler, he's a set. Everyone always jokes and say I've been here for like 9 years, and I'm like, guys, no. I just finished up my 5th year and I didn't play, so I'm not counting that as my 5th year. But yeah, Cam gets a lot of it. I get a lot of the heat too, just because they like to joke around and say, they call me Uncle around here. They call me Uncle Tone. So it's fun, it's funny, but I still show them on the field that I still got it. So.
We call him Agent Zero, though. So anything else for Agent Zero?
Yeah, one more, just about Jonas. It's kind of wild that he's going into his 4th year. just kind of how have you seen him kind of develop, as a leader this spring and kind of stepping into that role?
It's been great, just seeing him mature, especially with the season he had last year. Everyone knows that. But staying humble, continue to grind, and just working on the little things, and definitely just he's speaking up more, being more vocal, and guys are listening to him as well. But yeah, he's been great, and he's definitely matured a lot. And that's also why they joke around too, because I was going into my junior year when Jonas was a youngin', so they joke around a lot that I've been here for a long time because of Jonas.
One more, if I could sneak it in. As a defense, there were a lot of big plays last year given up. What's kind of the key to minimizing those big plays allowed? And I'm sure it's an area of emphasis this spring for you guys.
It just comes down to everyone doing their job. Everyone being, fundamentally sound, being disciplined, and not worrying about doing someone else's job. All right, not worrying about doing someone else's job, because that's what happens when the explosive happen. Guys aren't doing their job. Guys are trying to account for someone else, or guys aren't working on their fundamentals. But yeah, it's definitely been a key point that we hit on. It's just fundamentals, eliminating explosive plays, keeping everything in front of us. Yeah, so just eliminating explosive plays.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
And Antonio, you talked earlier about how just the year that you just had, not being able to play, being able to learn away from the field. What would you say was the biggest thing that you learned, and how do you hope to apply that in the spring and then, of course, in the fall?
Really, just seeing the game from a coach's view. So how we get out here and fireworks start happening, guys lose their temper a little bit, emotions and stuff like that, because it's an emotional game. But like when you sit back and look at it from a coach's view and like start watching film like a coach, the game starts to slow down a little bit, and then you start realizing like, oh, that's why my coach was saying this, or that's why this look, they run these type of plays and stuff like that. But yeah, just definitely just seeing the game from a coaching view, and seeing how offenses do everything and stuff like that. I was able to really just slow the game down for me, especially just watching a lot of film with Coach Cox, because he's a genius. But yeah, just seeing it from his view and stuff like that has really helped me a lot.